Sav'aaq everyone! Hello, and I hope you're doing well, and vasak to a new video. This week's video is definitely a nicher one, I think, and we'll see if anyone else is interested, but I've just been wanting to revisit Hyrule so badly recently. It's because when I was listing off highlights from 2023, Tears of the Kingdom was the first thing that I listed. And that's probably the way it is for a lot of people who've played the game, because it's just like so well done. And my life has not been the same after finishing the game, and I miss the world so much. So this video is a purely self-indulgent project to revisit Hyrule. I wanted to share some of the memorable side quests from my playing experience with you all, so I drew it in a very rough diary sketch format. So welcome to Hyrule Diaries. From this point forward, this video will have spoilers of Tears of the Kingdom. Now, I absolutely loved Breath of the Wild, like it's such a great game, but Tears of the Kingdom is just next level in everything. Like the game itself is more technically advanced in all its like physics and all that new stuff, and when I first played it I was shocked, and the sky islands and like the whole depths, like it's just the whole thing. But it's also a lot better in storytelling. Tears of the Kingdom not only has good story quests, but it just feels like a real living, breathing world. They add to the characters and events of the previous game, and they show their life after a few years, which it's great to see like familiar characters progressing in their lives. Like, you know, Hudson with his kid, and he became like a big deal, and it's like, oh, it's so nice. And it's also great to be remembered as the hero of Hyrule, because in the first game you were forgotten, but now in Tears of the Kingdom you have like friends who remember you, and like Sidon, that fish boy is like besties with you, and it's just so nice. Like, these details are so small, but it's so important to make the world feel real. And I think the quest series that made me feel these little details the most was the Stable Trotter arc, where you like serenade the Great Fairies. And my favorite side quest from this series was the Flute Player's Plan, which is our first Hyrule Diary entry. Now, this side quest happens in the Highland Stable, and I was, well, when I say I mean Link, but you know, we were 2 and 1 for the duration of my journey, so like it's fine, but like just keep that in mind, I guess. But anyways, I was looking for Piper, the flute player, because I needed him for the next Stable Trotter quest, but I just could not find him for the life of me. Even though I knew he was in Highland Stable, like he was just nowhere in sight. So like I skipped this quest for a while and then came back, and I found him in a freaking tree, and he told me that he burned a tree to show his friend Heidi a glowing tree, which is hilarious, and I'm upset that we didn't see a burning tree in a cutscene, but you know, whatever. I guess the hero of Hyrule shouldn't support arson. Yeah, this quest was really cute, and Piper wanting to make Heidi smile is just adorable. And I also didn't need to collect anything, because I'm the type of player that just collects everything in my inventory for fear of running out of things. But like, I did find it comical that I, or Link, the hero of Hyrule, who is like on a very time-sensitive quest to save the whole world and make sure like Zelda's plan for thousands of years is not ruined. Like, Link is just here collecting fireflies, helping a little boy impress a little girl, and that's why the expression in the drawing is the way it is. But I guess you could say that about all the quests I'm gonna talk about today, so I guess that's fine. Anyways, that's the first side quest. And the next one is Uma's Garden, which occurs right after all the Hateno school quests, which was also very fun. Like, getting Link as a teacher, those kids are very lucky. And this garden starting up as a celebration of Link becoming a teacher is also just a sweet sentiment, and I enjoyed getting to spend time with Uma. I didn't remember her from Breath of the Wild, but she's like a cute old lady, you know? And I didn't really use Uma's Gardens feature very regularly, but I think it would have been really helpful if I did. I started off with a hardy radish because it's really hard to find hardy radishes in Tears of the Kingdom. Like, it's in very particular places, in like specific sky islands and stuff. Like, I think it wasn't that rare in Breath of the Wild, but I really like hardy radish. Like, I like putting it in my cooking, so it was a must to have. So when I saw it as an option, even though you don't get as much produce, I thought it was worth it. And on that note, I really liked that they kept the hardy radish and the endura carrot, I think. They still kept them rare by making it like lower yield, but made an in-story reason that Uma's just not used to growing them, which like actually makes a lot of sense. Like, why would this grandma in Hateno village know what these like rare veggies are? Like, that's a really cool way to like keep your like game developing decisions, but like have a story reason for it, and that's just so cool. And our first harvest was great, and I imagine if we could take selfies with other characters in game, I would have taken a selfie with Uma with our first harvest because it was pretty cute. So that's what I did in the diary entry. So that's Uma's garden completed. The third entry is Dad's blue shirt, which happens in Lurelin village after you save it from the pirates. This really minor quest means a lot to me actually because of the way this whole thing was set up. Like, the whole saving Lurelin village quest was so fun, right? Like, all the lead up to it, like, it was cool to see all the people who fled from the village going to other major towns and then them talking to you about it. And the fact that you can do this quest anytime, but from the get-go we hear about the pirate takeover is really cool. And on the way to Lurelin village, that was where I met this family in the Dad's blue shirt quest. They were at the Rebella Wetlands Skyview Tower, I think, and Kiana, the mother, talks about how she doesn't know when they'll be able to return to Lurelin, which like really added to the reality and gravity of the situation. I'm glad they did the whole like everyone spread out and don't know when they can come back detail because it really did make it more serious. So getting to help this family's kids find their dad's shirt in this side quest after all the hard work is done was really sweet. And on the plus, I got a hot weather outfit out of it, which was really helpful when I went to Gerudo. Like, I didn't need to buy any new clothes. And I like to think that my version Link is super close with the family because I always go to their house for free food from the mom. And also when Link wears the shirt and talks to the family, they notice, which is like so cool. Like, I noticed this when I wore the new hero's tunic in front of Pyrrha as well. Like, she comments on the fact that you're wearing the tunic that Princess Zelda was preparing for you. Like, that kind of thing. Like, oh, this game is just so good. Like, all the details. So this very minor, not very significant quest means a lot to me. So I'm glad I was able to add it to the entries. Another sweet quest that I think a lot of people look over is the moon-gazing gorons, which happens after saving Goron City. The innkeeper and massage person, like the masseuse person of like Rolling Inn, which is the inn at Goron City, are trying to find a place where you can see the full moon during the day. And their names are Trey and Vulcan, but this is the place they were born. And if you show them a photo, they decide to go visit it together, and it's really sweet. And for this entry, I decided to draw Link showing them the photo on his Puripad. And for a lot of these entries, maybe you can tell, but I struggled with time a little bit. Like, I couldn't find the right watercolors for a lot of these sketches, and the coloring was kind of messy, but I wanted to keep it like real, so I didn't want to redo it. But for this entry, it was nice to get a break because Gorons are surprisingly really fun and easy to draw. And I didn't need to draw a human face because Link's like fire outfit, he has a helmet on, so it was nice to get a break from all the humans and just draw Gorons. So maybe I'll draw more Gorons in the future. And also, like, I don't know if these two, Trey and Vulcan, are like married or they're like just friends, but them visiting like their special place soon, for them like soon is like a few decades. It was really sweet, and I hope they go on the trip. The next quest actually involves a couple on a trip, but I really just did not enjoy this quest at all. I wanted to add it because it was just memorable. It's the Gleeok Guts quest. So I first met Melina panicking over her husband almost dying in Gerudo Canyon before I made it to Gerudo and started the quest. But I kept putting it off because like I didn't care that much, which sounds so mean. But I don't know, like I believed in Melina. Like I thought she could kill a Gleeok herself, and maybe she could save her husband because she is a girl boss, but I guess not. So after I saved Gerudo, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that quest. So I killed a bunch of gleeoks, but I kept not getting the guts, which is just so frustrating. And I didn't know the existence of a king gleeok yet, so I just kept killing a bunch and I kept not getting the guts. And I didn't even care about her husband Platt, so it didn't really help with the motivation factor. And this quest was just a pain to get done. And after I gave them the guts, it was nice because they were thankful and gave me money, and also Platt didn't die, I guess. And Melina was like, thank you so much, we can now continue our honeymoon trip, which like, they really shouldn't. If your husband's body is not good to travel, like I don't think they should travel. But you know, whatever, it's their marriage, so no judgment, I guess. I say after judging them really hard. So like, yeah, no hate to Melina and Platt, but this quest, man, it's just like the gleeok guts. And also, I don't think Link enjoys handing the guts to someone. It's just kind of gross, and that's what I wanted to put in the entry. But I guess Link keeping guts and body parts of monsters he kills in his pockets are disturbing in itself. And I never really thought about that until I drew this entry. And now it's freaking me out a little bit. So let's move on to the last entry, which is the secret room in the secret forest, I think, like where the Great Deku Tree is. Honestly, the whole thing with saving the Great Deku Tree was really fun. Like, it was scary story-wise, but it wasn't that difficult, so that was like a nice break. But I do regret that I got the Master Sword before getting to the Great Deku Tree, because after, like, we saved him, he was like, oh cool, you have the Master Sword. Okay then, like, thanks, I guess. And it was like obvious that if I hadn't gotten the Master Sword, he was supposed to like give me a hint about it. And like, I love that my Link figured it out himself. Like, we love independence, but it would have been cool for the Great Deku Tree to actually help me out after I helped him out. I guess it doesn't matter that much because like the Koroks were safe and that's all that matters, but you know. And my favorite Korok is obviously Oaki, because like, I mean, he's adorable. And he's like making a secret room and he's not telling anyone because they might steal his idea. Like, that's so cute. And getting to help little Oaki was nice, and the end result was actually really nice too. Like, the silent princesses reminded me of Zelda and I got a little teary-eyed for no reason. Like, the only issue with the room is that we're in the Great Deku's mouth, which is, you know, a little weird. But the fact that there's a whole society living inside the Great Deku Tree already is disturbing. So maybe we shouldn't think about that, just like the Link keeping guts in his inventory. Yeah. So anyways, that's the quest. And on a different note, I wonder what your opinion on the Koroks are. Since I know we all love them, but we also love bullying them. Especially like with the new physics in the game, I always see people blasting them into space with a rocket. Which like, I don't do, but I find it hilarious and I support it. I personally feel that they're kind of like the annoying little brothers, because you love them, but you want to mess with them a little bit. So yeah. Anyways, so that's the entry for Oaki's secret room. These are just some of the most memorable moments from my days as Link in Hyrule, and I want to do more of this format since it was really chill for me to get done. And I know these are like nowhere close to being finished pieces, which like I wasn't really happy with these drawing as pieces, but I enjoyed their aesthetic together as a sketchbook page. And to be honest, if Link was drawing these during his journey, then it wouldn't look that nice anyways, so this is authentic. You know, it's real, I guess. Anyways, I hope I can continue this kind of like Hyrule Diaries thing. It's really fun to get to revisit some of my memories with the game. And please let me know some of your favorite side quests from Tears of the Kingdom, and I might add them as entries in the next video. Thanks so for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Sav'aaq!